They ever feel like you're living next to the complaint department? I know I did. My old neighbors, let's call them the Reportingtons, seemed to have a hotline to every city official, and my number was on their speed dial. It started small, a friendly barbecue. That's a noise complaint. A few friends over past 9 p.m. Another noise complaint. My grass was apparently half an inch too long one week. You guessed it, a call to the homeowners association. My dog, bless his heart, barked at a squirrel, and you'd think I was running an illegal kennel from the way they reacted. It was relentless. They reported my car for being parked improperly on my own driveway. They complained about the smell of my cooking, the color of my welcome mat, even the glare from my holiday lights. It felt like I was living under a microscope, constantly walking on eggshells in my own home. Every knock on the door sent a jolt of anxiety through me. Was it the police, code enforcement, the HOA police? It was exhausting, and honestly, it stole all the joy from what was supposed to be my sanctuary. I wasn't just living next to them. I was living for them, constantly trying to avoid their next ridiculous complaint. I tried talking to them, of course. I brought over cookies, which they probably suspected were a fire hazard. I tried explaining, reasoning, and being the bigger person. But it was like talking to a brick wall, a very, very judgmental brick wall. The final straw came when I decided to build a small garden shed in my backyard, well within all the property lines and city codes. I had the permits and everything. Before the first post was even in the ground, I had an official stop work order slapped on my door, thanks to a concerned neighbor reporting unpermitted construction. It was baseless, and the order was lifted a week later, but the damage was done. My dream of having a small workshop, a little creative space, was tainted by their negativity. That's when I had an epiphany. Why was I fighting for inches of peace in a place that clearly wasn't meant for me? Why was I letting their misery dictate my happiness? I wasn't going to sink to their level. I wasn't going to get into a petty war of complaints. No, I was going to do something bigger, something better. Instead of building a small shed, I decided I was going to build a whole new life. I started looking at land, far away from HOAs and nosy neighbors. The idea terrified me, but it also excited me more than anything had in years. I sold my house, much to the Reportingtons' surprise. I bet they tried to report the for sale sign for being too bright. The search was an adventure in itself. I looked at plots of land with rolling hills, properties tucked away in quiet woods, and spots with incredible views. I was no longer just trying to escape. I was actively searching for my paradise. And then, I found it. Several acres of beautiful untouched land, with a creek running through it, and not a neighbor in sight for at least half a mile. There was no HOA. No one to tell me what color I could paint my door, or how long my grass could be. The only sounds were birds, the rustling of leaves, and the gentle flow of the creek. It was perfect. The silence was the loudest, most beautiful thing I had ever heard. The planning process was intense, but so rewarding. I didn't want just a house. I wanted a home that was truly mine. I worked with an architect to design a space that fit my life, not a life that had to fit into a pre-made box. I wanted big windows to let in the natural light, a massive workshop for all my projects, and a sprawling porch to sit and just be. Every single plank, every nail, every design choice was a declaration of my independence. It was a statement that I was building my happiness on my own terms. This wasn't just construction, it was reclamation. I was reclaiming my peace, my creativity, and my right to live joyfully. The build itself was a journey. There were muddy days, frustrating setbacks, and moments where I wondered if I'd bitten off more than I could chew. But every time I felt overwhelmed, I'd just stand there, listen to the quiet, and remember why I started. I remembered the constant anxiety, the feeling of being watched, the endless, pointless complaints, and that memory was all the fuel I needed. I poured my heart, my sweat, and yes, a few tears into this project. I learned how to frame walls, run wiring, and lay flooring. With every step, the house became less of a blueprint and more of a part of me. And now, well, now I'm home. My dream home. It's more than I ever could have imagined. My workshop is 10 times the size of that shed I wasn't allowed to build. I have a garden that's as big and wild as I want it to be. My dog can bark at all the squirrels he wants, and the only one who hears is me. I can play my music as loud as I want, have as many friends over as I want, and cook whatever I want without a single complaint. The peace I have here is something you can't put a price on. It's a deep, profound sense of freedom that I didn't even know I was missing. Sometimes, I think about my old neighbors. I don't feel anger anymore, just a kind of pity. They were so focused on controlling my little patch of the world that they were probably miserable in their own In a strange way, I should thank them. Their relentless negativity was the push I needed to stop settling and start building. They wanted to confine me, but instead, they set me free. They thought they were winning all those petty battles, but their actions led me to win the war for my own happiness. They taught me a valuable lesson. When people try to tear you down, use those stones to build your own castle. So, if you're feeling trapped or controlled by your circumstances, whatever they may be, remember that you have the power to change your reality. It might not be about building a literal house, but it's about taking that first step to build a life you love. Don't let anyone else's negativity dim your light. Use it as a reason to shine even brighter. Thank you so much for watching and letting me share my story with you. If you enjoyed it, please hit that like button and subscribe for more adventures. See you in the next one.